another installment of the ATS Owner Operator series. Now, this will be the third job I've published with this truck here, which is still the International 9800. It's by Harman as well as a few other modders. It's freely available on the Steam Workshop. I've still got the Cat C15 mated 550 horsepower engine, rated to a 13-speed 8 fuller gearbox with a retarder. And today we are down in Mexico. I'm using the big map setup, and we're going from Loreto to La Paz. So I'll just bring you the map up here. So there, just across to La Paz, 241 miles. So shouldn't take too long. So without further ado, let's get started. When it loads in. Oh, I still got one up there, Cat.
Okay, here we go.
Let's see if I can find my way out the port. Yeah. On the cargo I'm carrying is 33,521 pounds of cheese. I've got Chatty Cat's trailer and cargo pack installed, the small mirror, top bar version, the minimal top corner mirrors, and also I've added Sissel's Mega Pack. I haven't had a very good day with one thing and another, both health-wise and other things, and I've been asleep most of the afternoon at the time of this recording, so still a bit groggy, but I have managed to go down to my mum's and
get ready to
manage some Sunday dinner, so
turn left.
At least I've eaten something today. Now on some of these Mexican roads I've noticed there's no speed limit signs, but you don't really want to be going super fast on these roads. And with what I've seen on this map so far on the travel down to this point with it seems to be very well modelled, and it's certainly a lot more interesting and challenging than what the certainly coast to coast and Canada Dream maps are, but I say they are about the only expansion maps for this game, so I've only been on some of the bit that's down like from California, so if you think of it like a bit like a boot type thing, I've only been in some of that bit so far, so across the bulk of it yet, which videos from the other areas of Mexico, because so I've done nearly 7,600 miles in this truck, so I'm going to change it about 10,000 with another mod truck, keep running them like that, because I've seen people do mod reviews and they do very short jobs or show you selected parts of the jobs. So where I'm not showing you some of the customization on the trucks, I'm actually showing you better what they're actually like in the real world rather than brochuring them. You know what I mean, like some mod reviewers do. So you'll see why, though they're not posting any speed limit, why you go with about what speed you're comfortable with, bearing in mind the road cambers, the tight twists on this, there's some hills, and if you go too far over the central line you get fined more frequent the wrong way offence on this map than others have found, as I picked up 3 fines on a job I did down from Olympia to where we picked this one up from, and there's occasional rough roads on this map, so this is one of the very first times exploring this map, because I'm normally being like just on the vanilla maps and any profiles I've started and set up, so I thought it's about time to give it a try. But previous video I've tried the coast to coast map before and found it very bland and boring, especially if you're on I did a journey that was around about the 2,000 mile mark yesterday on it, and I fell through the map, so they had to take it back to the say previous to when I fell through the map in loading it in, and eventually I had to end up, after about the 4th attempt at this, I had to teleport over where the gap was in order to complete the delivery, but in the process of doing that I did clock up full run counted as race miles and took
Turn left.
VTC, so I was a bit annoyed with myself with that one, so things happen. He was waiting over the line there at the traffic lights. If he wasn't, I wouldn't have got fined, so I don't see why I should have got fined for that bloody fence. But no matter where you play, what map extension, if you're in like the base game and DLCs, that happens. Not totally your fault, because the fine system is totally corrupting this game sometimes, because I don't mind getting fined for things that I've genuinely done, but not for things like that, especially when the vehicle that you hit is breaking the law in the first place. It should be up to them to pay the fine, compensate you, not the other way around. Although technically you did hit them, but if they were waiting where they were supposed to wait, that wouldn't have happened.
Go straight on.
If you're wondering about live streaming, that's a no-no. I tried to stream on Discord a few nights ago, and apparently those that could see it, the picture was very pixelated and terrible, and that's not, could be a little bit down to the PC, but it's mainly internet connection here. It's alright, the UK government promising fast broadband to this, that and the other. Technically, yes, we have got fast broadband, but they should be making it compulsory, so the rural areas like I am in actually should get some priority for the fibre. Because, don't know. I live not very far off the border with North Yorkshire, and in what was Cleveland and North Yorkshire. You come underneath Wrexham and Cleveland Borough Council, and if you know much about them, well, you've seen the documentaries, oh this is Redcar and what have you, and they're going about bleeding poverty, but they're in the same council we are, you know me. So they get hundreds of millions spent on them. We're lucky in this area totally if we get one spent on us, so that's how corrupt this council is. They have their favourite areas, and how I've lived this area, living basically since not long after I was born, so I was brought up in this area. My mum's from next village up originally. My dad was from North Yorkshire. It's called Leelome. Whitby in my name comes from, I was actually born in Whitby, so and for a short time up till I was about a few months old, my parents lived in a small village just outside Whitby, so it always had a strong link and affection with that place, so now the border's changed. When I was born in 1974, prior to that the area where I am now was known as the North Riding of, it was part of the North Riding of Yorkshire. Then when they split it off, County of Langbar come into being in 1974. With County of Cleveland and what have you, so that comes from, and there hasn't officially been a boundary change or anything, but now council acts plug in this area as Yorkshire, and there's one thing for someone like Teesside area don't agree with, because if you see anything anywhere, Tees Valley this, Tees Valley that, the Tees Valley does not exist at all. It's just a made up name they've given the area, because to be a valley it would need to be in between two hills, and you would, to get proper Tees Valley with the way that geographics are laid out in this country, you would have to go nearly from the northwest of England right over here to get actually the valley, so that is just a total bullshit. Sorry, that is just a totally rubbish made up name for this area, and it cheeses me off every time I hear the Tees Valley this, the Tees Valley that. The Tees Valley does not exist because a valley needs to be between two hills, and the Tees Valley what they have it is not between two hills. So it's just something to drum up publicity. It's just total and utter rubbish. So and now the council's congratulating themselves and what have you, because they're going to reopen some police stations in the area, and the police station where I live is actually reopening, because check them on their website and what have you, because for the last couple of years, after they shut the police station, this area of East Cleveland did not have a dedicated police officer. We had 2 PSOs dedicated to it, so you can basically say, and at the last council tax bills that came out, there was a rise in it from the Police and Crime Commissioner for the police of about 11%. So in actual fact, our council, like a lot of others, if you think about it, they're putting like the council tax bills, things up and up and up for things, and then you're not getting services that you're fully paying for, because and what I mean by that is we haven't had one dedicated officer on that for this area for the last few years. Now they've got big fancy bugger. Sorry, that's me ranting and raving. I'll just take the punishment on that one rather than redo this video. Yeah, so they've got big fancy offices with facilities like where you can go and get the citizens advice. You've got council offices to get things done there and what have you, and yet the rural areas of East Cleveland, we don't even get the mobile service now. Well, we get 2 hours a week dedicated to us from the like CAB, welfare rights and that people, but in that time you can only see 2 or 3 people. There's no appointment system, so you just go up, sit and wait in the library, and if they get round to you they do. The total thing, so about government miscuts that. And see what our council's forgotten. I bet it's the same in a few other areas, I don't know. That instead of getting everything in one area, that say that because people that need advice, benefits and what have you, are people that's on very low incomes and are on benefits like that, and realise is it's costing us about £6 or more to go out and get some advice. What people who live in those areas will walk and get for free, but they'll tell us we can walk. Would you walk about 15 miles one way to get advice and then have to walk 15 miles back? That's 30 miles. So that will what? And then you'd have to set off very early in the morning to get there when the offices and things opened. And to do 30 miles, some people can't even do half a mile if you had to walk to these places.
Turn right.
And the taxi would cost about up to about £20
right.
one way, so you'd have that to pay to come back. So that's why our council hasn't really bloody thought about us in rural areas. So you can do everything by phone or email. Not everybody has a phone. There you go, phone calls. They're not on a free phone number, so that's money out your own pocket again. Fork out on that. If you haven't got a computer and you want to send an email, obviously you have to go to a library, and the computer use is not free in a lot of cases. So
get ready to turn right.
That's so it's just
turn right.
Totally corrupt our council, and things won't improve while
get ready to turn right.
We're on is very independent, and the leader of the local council, Cleveland Borough Council, is actually on the council, the area where I am. Now that's you work when that were in charge that lived in Redcar, South Bank, Grangetown and other places like that. And you say you're neglected and that, but right, go back to the 80s, 90s is right, when the rental properties before they changed them, right? Used to rent from the council.
Get ready to
Them
turn
houses
right.
down there, and somebody call me a bloody liar if they like, but I know for a fact some of them houses were rebuilt 3 or 4 times
Turn right.
before anywhere else got a look in, because that's where they like to
Have
spend the
arrived at
money,
your destination. Your
because they
route
bought it
guidance
with
is
another
now
council.
finished.
So now I don't normally get political, and you probably won't hear it too often, but there's some things that just start to grind your gears with things, and it's probably the same with most people, but and then the main government and what have you, councils are all pleased that they're getting, some areas are getting some money spent on them and what have you, but if you think about it, this government has robbed a hell of a lot more off them than what they're giving them back. So in actual fact, they're giving them back their own money. And what have you, so and here's a passing thought for you. Virgin Media M50 Internet on its own from Virgin Media, £37 a month. Yeah, if you get the same one with phone line and TV and that, you're paying 30 something a month, so that's why I won't go Virgin, because they're just ripping people off left, right and centre with the extra charges for this. See, if I went with them, I'd just want broadband and phone. But I grudge. The fact is, I would have to pay them nearly £7 or £8 more a month to have this, a similar payment system to what I'm using now that the post office does for free. So, anyhow, sorry, rant over. I'll just say 10-10 for now. Stay safe on the roads. Don't have too many accidents like I just have. And goodbye.